Let me start by sharing a story that happened in this country in April 2012. I was in Cheu at a bus depot, waiting to catch a public bus to Lilongwe. Next to me was a vendor selling airtime, and he had his radio on. All of a sudden, I hear the guy on the radio saying, if you haven't heard this, vendors in the cities of Blantyre, Lilongwe, and Nzuzu are stripping all women wearing leggings, miniskirts, or any dress that ends at the knees, and trousers. It doesn't matter if your trousers are tight or loose-fitting, but if you're wearing any of these items, you will be stripped. Police have failed to contain the situation, and the army has been brought in to keep vendors from rioting and breaking into shops. Businesses have closed down, but despite the presence of army and police personnel, women are still being stripped. So if you're coming into the city, make sure you're wearing a loose ankle-length dress or skirt, or even a chitenje. Do not wear miniskirts, leggings, or trousers underneath your chitenje, because these vendors will lift your chitenje to check what you have on underneath. So I, like many women that day, was forced to wear this piece of cloth that wraps around your waist. I got on a bus, and 3 hours later, I was in Lilongwe. I could see the police and army standing around the city doing nothing to stop vendors that were still checking each and every bus for women and girls wearing leggings, miniskirts, or trousers so they could strip them. Those that had the misfortune of being stripped had their purses snatched, some were beaten up, and their breasts and buttocks were fondled. In 1994, Malawi gave its citizens the freedom of expression, which encompasses the freedom of dressing. The response to this horrific act that started without warning was the next day, a 2,000 women protest attended by then Vice President Joyce Banda, and the following day, 15 people were arrested. But no one served time for assault, theft, or even sexual harassment. The media, government, churches, human rights activists, they all condemned the act, but on the ground, vendors and some citizens justified it, claiming women needed to be taught a lesson because they were disrespecting themselves by how they dressed. I tried to get many media houses interested in producing a documentary about this day, but no one was interested because women are regarded as second-class citizens, and our society has no real interest in dealing with the issues that affect them. In Area 18, a mentally ill female was raped by 3 men. By morning, the story had spread like wildfire in the marketplace where these 3 men drink and operate their businesses from. Everybody chose to ignore the fact that a woman had just been violated and chose to focus on the humor of 3 men choosing to rape a woman who, as they put it, was mentally unstable. This woman came to the marketplace to confront her rapists. They threw rocks at her, while bystanders told her to shut up and go home because she was making noise. Rape is an expected thing in Malawi. And there is a sense that every woman must take necessary measures to ensure that she doesn't get raped. And if the crime of rape has been committed, then you as a woman were careless. This is the reason women do not report rape. Because when the crime of rape has been committed, the blame is pushed to the victim. And they're asked questions like, what were you wearing? What did you do to make his blood boil? He had no choice but to rape you. What were you doing over at his house? So even the idea of date rape is non-existent. The victims of rape are afraid of not only their rapists, but the community. For example, if the rapist has a family, then the victim is labeled a homewrecker if she reports the crime of rape. A lot of women, especially in rural areas, do not have the money to pursue this in court. So if brought before traditional leaders like chiefs, the most justice they will get, one live chicken. Or 3,000 Malawi kwacha, which is $6, or an apology. There are some cases where the rapist is asked to marry the victim, and this is considered the better end of the deal. Women who have been raped in Malawi are afraid to say so because there's a mindset that if you've been raped, then no one will ever want to marry you because men are thinking, well, somebody was in there, I don't want to go in there either. This veil of silence that women are brought up under has left a lot of room for another evil practice to flourish: incest. As much as we can attribute the crime of incest to psychological problems, there are some people in Malawi that engage in the practice in the superstitious belief that it will bring them wealth, as per instructions given to them by witch doctors. While I was doing research for this talk, I came across a very heartbreaking story. This man has 7 daughters, and he has slept with daughter number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6. The only reason he has not slept with his 7th daughter is because this girl had to take medication so she could have her period for the entire year. This girl has her period from 1st January to 31st December, just to keep her father off her. The women in these homes do not do anything because in most cases, the entire family depends financially on the father. So if the victim brings the issue to members of her extended family or even the community, a private meeting is held where the father or the man is asked not to do this again. Anything beyond that is considered a dishonor to the man. Because in my country, property is listed as follows: wife, children, house, car, the list goes on. This idea that women and children can be owned is the reason we all turn away. But let me tell you this: families make communities. Communities build society, and society builds a nation. And no nation can develop without the participation of each and every one of its healthy citizens. Our families need to change. We all know what we're like as parents, as brothers and sisters. When someone in our home has been raped, we are filled with embarrassment and shame, so we are the first to push it under the rug. We need to change our families. We need to turn our attention to the victim. They need to know that we will be their safety net. They need to know that we will help them fight for their justice. We can no longer say whatever happens next door is none of my business and is okay until it happens to me. You and me are the change. This is the Malawi that I grew up in. But I want you to take this home and really think about it. Take a month, take a year, take 2 years, but really think about it and answer the question. What Malawi do you want your daughter to grow up in? Thank you.